Why is it so frustrating that you can give people information as a leader and have a meeting and such, and then people just don't get it done? They don't follow through. They don't ask questions. And the reason is because there is actually a what I call a trifecta to excellent communication, and it's simply understanding how the brain works. We all favor a certain type of learning style. And today I'm just going to talk about three because I like acronyms. So when you think of V.A.K, V-A-K, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, and you apply those techniques where that person's brain favors that type of learning, then you're not as frustrated that people don't understand you or aren't doing what you ask or are doing it incorrectly. Now, I know that many of you are familiar with the visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and there's also another one, reading and writing, kind of layers into the others. But my point is, every week, people, knowing and doing are not the same thing. So as a leader, are you applying these techniques, or are you simply choosing to impart information the way that you like to have information? Okay, so be inclusive of all three. Just a really quick overview. So visual learners, they obviously they prefer to see, so they're going to like some slides, maybe not too many, because it'll be harder on the other learners. But they want to be able to see you physically, and they if they've seen it, they have a better chance of remembering it, which is wonderful. The downside is when their brain processes information, in other words, when you give them some direction, they need to turn those words into pictures because our mind stores things in pictures for the most part. Then whatever they want to say needs to be recreated and then turned into words. So when you're speaking to a visual learner, give them a moment to process this information inside, flip it around, and turn it back out again. It's literally milliseconds and even just a few seconds. So have a little patience with your visual learners, but show them as much as possible. And then your auditory learners, the oral learners, are the hearers. And so they're really good. You might not even see them taking notes and you thinking, how are they going to remember all this? Because they're auditory. They really like clarity of sound. So if you're using some kind of system, make sure the quality of sound is really good, and to use a lot of tone, pitch, inflection in your voice to keep them entertained. That's actually good for everybody. Now the downside to the auditory learner is they they can be very stubborn. They hear things a certain way and they will say, no, that's not what you said. And so as a leader, you'll just relent and say, okay, I understand what you heard, and I'm not going to say that that's not what I said. Now let's get to solution. And now we have the kinesthetic learners. These are the people that must do it to learn. So you can blah blah at them all you want. You can show as many exciting, fun, and interesting pictures as you like, but they learn best kind of with you over their shoulder, hands on, doing it. So they could be told it and shown it, but until they physically do it, that information almost means nothing. And the more time that goes, the less that information has value in their brain. So you want to get on those kinesthetic learners really fast because their retention drops off quickly. The good thing about a visual learner is that, excuse me, a kinesthetic learner, is that they are really good at teaching. So once they physically do something and they know how to do it, they've experienced it, they're really good at teaching others how to do it. They're good at speaking the other visual and auditory styles to help people learn. Okay, so that's the overview for your acronym. I love acronyms, V.A.K. You know I love my threes. There you go. And so my challenge to you is, knowing is not enough, doing. Can you go into the laboratory of life and be a leader that brings all three learning styles into your trainings, your meetings, how you talk on the phone, how you talk around the office, so that you show up as authentic and reliable, and people know what to expect, and they'll feel seen and heard and included because you are speaking their language, so to speak. Okay, I'm Elle Graniel. the founder of Truespeak, author of 3 international best-selling books, certified in a whole plethora of things to help support you in your success. All you have to do is book some time with me. The information is below. This is the part when I say please subscribe, share, follow, comment, all of those wonderful, wonderful things light me up. So until I either see you in a Zoom or speak to you on the phone, I will be here next week. So until then, my friends, aloha always.